All right. Welcome to Did You Pack Snacks? This is a family travel podcast where we chat all things high, all things low, all the long miles in between of traveling with kids. My name is Colin.
And I'm Meg.
And today we're about to give you the whole breakdown of Hong Kong Disneyland. How much it costs, how to get there, and what we gave it a whole vibe check. All right, so stay tuned for all of that. But just to catch you guys up on things, we're right now in the country of Malaysia, in my hometown. We made it back again. What's it been like, Megan?
The last few weeks have been a whirlwind. You know, we started in Hong Kong. That was last week's episode where we kind of shared our first impressions of that city. We then made it to Bali for about a week, right?
Yeah.
And then
a very exhausting week
because we'd never been to Indonesia before. We'd never been to Bali before. So of course, knowing us, we couldn't just get there and get to a beach resort and like relax. Who does that?
Nope.
Not us. We had to
let ourselves do it for one day.
Oh yeah, we were like, this is our rest day.
And even then I was like itching to get out.
And then we just wanted to see all the things that people love about Bali. And so that's what we did. It was really beautiful, but also tiring.
Yeah.
We'll share more about that in episodes to come. And then we finally made it to our ultimate destination, which is Malaysia, to spend time with family. We haven't been here in almost 2 years.
And right now the kids are off with their grandparents, buying toys, eating snacks, picking their cousins up from school. And we're hanging out in this little Airbnb in the middle of my hometown called Tawau. And it's just been catch up, resting. I've been working.
And we had usually when we come back, they have a huge mukri dinner party. So that's what we did last night. Colin's brother cooked all kinds of meat.
No, there was mahi-mahi, there was pork, there was lamb, there was chicken wings, all on the grill. I mean, everybody chipped in. Everybody brought rice, noodles.
We were like cutting open coconuts from your dad's garden to drink.
Yeah, and not just any regular old coconuts. I'm not even biased, but my house has the best coconuts in the whole world. And this is me after having coconuts in Mexico, Thailand, Indonesia. Y'all, when I get home, the coconuts are something else.
They're especially sweet. I will admit that I really enjoyed it.
It's a special species. It's a kelapa pandan, so a pandan flavored coconut. And so it's like a crossbreed with that flavor, and it's just like sweet and yeah, it's great.
It's always fun once we get here, but I will say that every time we make it like back to your literal home,
we get sick.
We get sick because of all of the travel and airplanes and people that we have to encounter just to get here.
Yeah.
And so we always get here and it's like this massive exhale because it took just so long, but then we're usually sick. And that's the case this week too.
You know how like a humpback whale like eats when he eats plankton? Like you can't see the plankton, but he opens his mouth so wide. And that's how I feel like, coming to Tawau. It's like we're going through all these airports, just sucking up all the germs.
I was waiting to see how you landed this analogy.
Yeah. No. We sucked up all the germs. And then once we're here, we have the family dinner. Everything's cool. Everything's chill. And then boom, the next day you wake up and you feel terrible.
You just feel terrible. So we're fighting all kinds of things in our family, but we're functioning. We're making it. And thankfully, now that we're here, we have like a couple of slower days to catch up on work, to just like hang out with family. And so it's honestly not a bad place to just chill for a second.
Yeah. And we're here recording a podcast. We're loyal to our listeners. Come on. We want y'all to feel like you're on the journey with us, because if you see us on social media, we're posting about Hong Kong. We haven't got to Bali yet, but I feel like our listeners get like the real time.
Yes, this is for sure real time. Social media or any other like place that we update, YouTube, that's always delayed just because we're living life at the same time that sometimes living life is the priority. And so I haven't been on my phone because we're catching up on not feeling great and getting time with family.
Yeah.
But yeah, the podcast is always like in real time, and we can't disguise if we're sick. We can't disguise if the episode's late. So you guys are our favorite people to update. So thanks for tuning in every week. It means a lot to us.
And we only know that like when we get DMs, when we get questions about travel from you guys. So it's really sweet. Like if you guys ever want to chat with us or just encourage us, or like, yeah, if you want to just throw some kindness our way, like we greatly, A, need it, B, love it. We thrive on it. And it keeps us going.
It keeps us going. I have one more question before we move on.
I love you too.
Yeah, I love you. That's how, I don't know why that made me uncomfortable, because you were joking, but then I felt like, well, I have to say it back.
Yeah, my love is not a joke.
Your love is not a joke. What is one thing that you're looking forward to eating while you're home?
I feel like I've done a lot of eating. Like I'm never hungry when I'm in Tawau. It's like, you know, while I'm sitting here working away, like I am just in the back of my mind wishing that I was more hungry. Like it's the worst feeling. Like, please, like dinner is in like an hour and a half. I'm like, please let me be starving by then, because I just keep eating. I just keep on eating. But one thing I haven't had since I've been home is wo tie, which is like these basically dumplings, but like fried and steamed together. Like you steam it first and then you fry it, and then inside is this delicious pork. And I don't know what region of China it's from, but it's huge here in Tawau. And we used to grow up eating it every single night. Like once it's 9 o'clock at night, me and my brothers and my dad look at each other and go, all right, let's go. So we'll go for like our 5th meal. We're like hobbits here. And so that's what we would do. I haven't had that yet. Dumplings.
Can you guess what I'm looking forward to eating the most?
What?
Fried bananas.
Oh, we haven't done that.
There's like a little stand on the way to Colin's parents' house that sells these fried bananas, and I've had them in other places, but for some reason my memory says that they make the very best ones.
Yeah.
And we drove by yesterday and they sold out, or they were closed. Mm-hmm. So it's still on my to-do list to get some like piping hot, crunchy fried. Are they bananas or like plantains?
They're bananas, but they're also a very specific kind, and it's a special family recipe. I won't disclose it.
Do you know it?
Yeah, they put honey in it. But you have to come to Tawau to try it. It's super crispy, and then you get into like the classic juicy banana flavor that you know. But before you get there, it's like surrounded by gates of crunchiness, and like it's hot.
It's so good.
It's like you're at a fair instantly.
For anybody that is trying to think like geographically where Tawau is, like first you fly across the world and you get to Kuala Lumpur, which is like mainland Malaysia, attached to Southeast Asia.
Yep.
If you look at a map, there's an island to the right of mainland Malaysia called
the Borneo Island. Yep. Third largest island in the world, inhabits 3 countries.
And if you look at the island, there's a little town. It kind of looks like a seahorse head on the right-hand side. And Tawau is like kind of around where the mouth of that seahorse would be.
Yes.
And so you get all the way to Malaysia, but then you have to get on another 3-hour flight to get to the island of Borneo.
Yeah.
And then you have to go on another hour drive.
45 minutes.
45 minutes to an hour to get to your town.
Yeah.
And we finally made it.
Yeah. And if you're holding a globe, you put one hand in the US, or I like to say Orlando, and then your other finger will naturally land around Malaysia.
Yeah.
So that's how you find it.
Complete opposite sides of the world. But I'm excited to be here. I'm thankful that we get to visit your family. Every time we come back, I just feel like what a sacrifice it is for you to be so far away from them. And so even though we get here and we're exhausted and we feel tired and we're fighting some kind of sickness, it's always like, I just feel really grateful that you get this time with your family. And it makes me remember like the distance between visits is a lot. And so,
yeah. Well, and if anything, like it's like hours like these where like, I know that Charlotte is like logging up time and logging up minutes and moments with the family, her cousins and her granddad. And that's what like we're here for.
Yeah.
You know?
Last night she was, okay, we'll stop telling stories, but like you're here for those stories, right? Last night when we were at dinner, Charlotte has like, I mean, they're second cousins.
Yeah.
There's a whole slew of them, 15, 20, somewhere in between that number.
My dad has 9 siblings. They all live 5 minutes from each other. They have too many cousins to count.
They have a lot. And so Charlotte kind of just jumped in, and man, by the end of the night, she was like the little ringleader.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to play with her. Everybody wanted to know what she wanted them to play. She's making them like bracelets out of tape. I mean, she just was living her best life.
And the beauty of like 2023 is that when we grew up, not a lot of kids spoke English, but like kids nowadays, because of TikTok, because of YouTube, because of dang Blippy, I mean, everyone speaks English. And so like that is a huge gift to our kids.
Yeah, because they can communicate with all of their second cousins. It's really sweet. We're talking so much about it.
Blah, blah, blah. And it's good to be home.
It's good to be home.
Yeah. Man, should we get into Disney?
Let's do it.
Let's go to Mickey Land, y'all. This was our first trip, our first like official trip there where like no one's pregnant, no one's carrying a newborn with a stroller around. Like we are just like a fully functioning, able-bodied, eager, excited Mukri family. So I felt like, yes, this was Liv's first time, but it was also like our family's first time. And yes, we live like 7 hours away from Walt Disney World. That hasn't happened yet because it's expensive. We are gonna, from now on though, I think we're gonna try to make it to all Disney locations.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert, we had the very best day. And so I think we left feeling like we wanted to make more memories like that in the future.
Yeah. And it was just like, it felt like at Disney, for all you parents out there, it feels like you can have a yes day, like guilt-free. Because like you're already there. You already paid that entrance fee. So you might as well just be fun mom and fun dad. And I feel like it lets us parents kind of just like not be as like strict.
Yeah, except there was one thing that you kept saying no to.
Well, I get nauseous so easily. So I'm like, no to the teacups. No to Dumbo.
Well, I rode those rides with the girls, but then they just wanted to ride the Innocent Carousel. And you were trying to convince them, you were like, there are more important things to do. You can ride a carousel at a mall.
Yeah. No. We're not waiting. Like 30-minute wait for a carousel. I'm like, we can do that anywhere. We're hitting up like the signature Disney rides.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, let's get like the basics out of the way first before we get to the fun stuff.
Okay,
so the reason why this was such a draw is because we were already in Hong Kong and tickets are a lot cheaper. I'm not sure about other locations, but we're just going to talk Hong Kong specifically. It was $80 a day. It was cheaper because we went on a Monday. But yeah, $80 to enter into Disneyland. And that's like, I would say $40 cheaper than, you know, the American counterparts. And then you get to Hong Kong. Hong Kong Disneyland is about 30 minutes away from the city.
Yeah, it wasn't far at all.
It's actually between the airport and the city. So as you're leaving Hong Kong, if you're going there for the first time, you'll see signs you'll see Mickey. There'll be Mickeys on the little road signs. But yeah, we left Hong Kong. It was our last day in Hong Kong. And it was, like I said, it was a 30-minute drive from the hotel. We took an Uber, and it was about $20-something to get there, or you can ride the train. But you know, the subway train, it does take like an hour or so to get there. But I guess the carrot at the end of the stick is that once you get to the Disney station, there's like a train that is all decked out in Mickey stuff. So if you're like a huge fan, you want to do that, you can do that too. But we just, you know, it's our last day. We were tired. I was like, let's just get me to the entrance. So we were there first thing in the morning, and we chose not to stay at Disneyland. Right.
Well, yeah, because we had booked our hotel in the city with points and miles. And so it just was kind of one of those additional expenses that maybe would have added to the experience. But when we looked at our budget, it was like, oh, we already got a hotel for that night. So why don't we just skip that part for now? But there are Disney resorts and hotels that you can stay at.
Right. There's 3 actually. And yeah, like you said, like I wanted to save my points and miles because spoiler alert, we're going to Disneyland in Anaheim next year. So I'm like, let's save some, miles for that. But yeah, there's 3 hotels in Hong Kong. There's let's start from the bottom. There's the Hollywood Hotel. Then it gets up to the Explorer Lodge. And then it gets up to the Disneyland Hotel, which visually, all the Disney people will notice. You have your Hollywood Hotel, which is like the, what's the one called? But it looks kind of retro-y. That's your like lower tier one.
People are yelling at you right now or yelling at us because I don't know either.
Right, but then the middle one is kind of like the animal themed one. So the Explorer Lodge is like the animal themed one, and then the most expensive one is, of course, just like at Walt Disney World, the one that looks like the Grand Floridian, and they all look like almost like replicas to the ones in Disney World. But yeah, it started at like $250 for a night, all the way up to like $350, or about 30,000 or 40,000 points when I tried to book it with the Capital One card. But again, we didn't choose to do that. We stayed in our Holiday Inn in downtown Hong Kong and loved it. But let's talk first impressions. We got there as soon as the gates open, and it feels like Disney. It feels like all the other times that we've been to Disney, except when you look around, of course, it's not. You are in Hong Kong. There's a huge Chinese population. Then there's like sprinkles of tourists like us, and then also a huge Filipino population because it's just a quick flight all the way to Manila. And so for a lot of people in Southeast Asia, like this is their Disney. Like this is their pilgrimage. So that's what that's the vibe that you see around. Lots of families, but then it's the weirdest thing because you're in Asia, and then you walk in and it's like Main Street, USA.
Yeah, I mean, it looked just like we were stepping into Disney World. I do know that this park is overall smaller than the other parks in different places of the world. It's the
smallest, yeah.
But as soon as you walk in, seeing that street with the castle at the end, I mean, it just immediately hits you that you're in Disneyland. And that was such a fun feeling.
Yeah.
And our girls wanted to run in every shop immediately.
Right. And it's cool because it's Main Street, but once you go in, like when we went into the bakery, like of course it's not, it's specifically Hong Kong stuff. Like you go in and there's like bubble tea and like really like they have their own signature baked goods and pastries. And so I feel like that's cool. While on the outside is your classic Disney facade, inside even the merchandise is different. So that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. And I felt like overall people embraced the merchandise to a whole new level.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was not one, people were like in full on, not just Disney shirts, but like Halloween costumes level of Disney attire.
Right. I mean, the commitment was definitely different. The selfie game is so strong.
So many selfies.
I felt like I was in a sea of like content creators. Everyone's a content creator.
And everywhere you walked, you were in someone's photo.
Yes.
All the time.
And like it gave me confidence to like, oh, I might as well just do a little photo shoot here because everybody was doing it.
Nobody cares. Nobody's going to bat an eye.
I know. I love it. And so, yes, we see the castle. Of course, it's its own design. I think it's beautiful.
I also actually read online that castle is the only Sleeping Beauty castle to have mountains in the distance in the background, which just made it like...
You're right.
Because you're not in the middle of a city. Like... Disneyland is away from the city, surrounded by mountains. It's kind of in its own place.
Yeah.
And so you get this natural backdrop that was just really beautiful and unique, apparently.
Man. So what do you see in like Disneyland Anaheim? Do you see like a McDonald's sign?
No, I don't think you see anything. I think you just see sky.
Like sky.
Yeah, you don't have much of a backdrop because it's all developed.
Yeah, I did notice that because when we were taking pictures in front of the castle, you'll see like half of your photo is like a green hill of Lantau Island. And so that is cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we did it clockwise. Me and Charlotte started with the ride that was in the mines that was similar to what you have in Disney that's being revamped right now to fit a Tiana vibe. But in Hong Kong, it's like...
Splash Mountain?
Yeah, Splash Mountain. I was just quizzing.
First time Disney fans over here. We're butchering all of the names of everything.
People are like really? You don't know Splash Mountain? So yeah, that roller coaster was insane. Like, just when you think, like, it went from 3 levels. Like, at first it was like, oh, this is kind of tame, kind of Disney. And then it was like, it went backwards. Am I ruining it for people?
I think you're good. I think people are cool with you talking about a roller coaster.
Okay. You go backwards, and then the third round is like, your classic, you enter into a room and then the fireworks goes off and then it goes super speed. And so it's a great roller coaster. I love rides that are in the dark. That was great. Then we went to Hong Kong's version of the Haunted Mansion, which I heard the backstory of that is like, I think Asian countries are more in tune with their spiritual selves and the spiritual realm. So like the whole idea of like the Haunted Mansion doesn't really go well with the vibe here. So they created like a whole new plot, a whole new cast of characters. And I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
That was Liv's first ride. We did that. And then you go into Toy Story Land, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, it said, again, I was reading some fun facts on the internet, and apparently like the Slinky Dog roller coaster is one of the most popular rides in the park.
Really?
Yeah, which is funny, but I think it's because it's appropriate for all ages.
Yeah.
Which some of the bigger roller coasters like Liv can't go on, but the Slinky Dog roller coaster, any age can go on that one. And
You're
so
right.
It's one of the more popular rides.
That was the only roller coaster she went on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's just not the adventurous type. But then Charlotte, on the other hand, literally went on all the rides, maybe multiple times. Because it was a Monday, some of the rides didn't have a long wait.
I was expecting to wait maybe an hour, but we never waited maybe more than 30 minutes for any ride.
No, 30 was like the longest, like as opposed to Disney World where like I have waited 2 hours before. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Like, I don't know if I can do that again.
Yeah.
Well, Genie Plus?
I mean, maybe you just might have to.
I won't. I'll have to figure it out. All y'all Disney experts, please plan our next Disney trip for us.
But Toy Story Land was really fun. The girls met Woody. I think we did every ride except for one in Toy Story Land.
Yeah, we didn't do RC's ride, which was basically that like U version roller coaster. It goes back and forth. Basically anything that induces high nausea, I don't do.
Yeah, I tried to do all the ones that Colin passed on. But even I needed a break from the spinning rides at some point.
And then after that, we passed by, from Toy Story Land, you can see Arendelle, which we were not able to go, which breaks my heart. We were like 10 days early before it opened, and it cost too much to change our tickets. Trust me, I called the airlines multiple times to try to change up our itinerary. But yeah, to my dismay, we didn't make it to the opening of Arendelle, the World of Frozen. But you can see like Elsa's Ice Mountain from there. And it's huge. But we didn't get to see that. So then we cut straight to behind the castle called Fantasyland, which is basically all your like classic rides.
Yeah, it's a small world, the teacups, Dumbo, the carousel.
Yeah, basically where I just sat out and chilled and ate lunch while Megan and the girls did all the stuff. But then at that point you realize, wow, we've done like half of the whole park.
Yeah.
And it was like 1:30.
Right. I think that this park in general feels like a very manageable day.
Yeah.
It's not huge. You can do it in a day. I mean, we even rode rides multiple times. Again, there weren't long wait times, but one of the things I liked about it was that it didn't feel overwhelming. There was no strategy.
No.
It was kind of like do the loop at your own leisure and you're going to experience the magic that the park has to offer.
Yeah. Because after that, we went into Tomorrowland, did some of the rides there, and then went to the parade. But then after that, we were like, okay, it's like 3:00. Let's just hit all the things that we didn't. So we went back to catch Moana's show. We did the Jungle River cruise, and we went back to Tomorrowland to get on Space Mountain the second time.
Right.
And then did I? No, you went with Charlotte the second time.
Yeah, she was telling me it was so cute. So in the ride, her and Colin went the first time. She had a great time apparently.
Yeah.
So we're standing in line. She's like, Mom, I'm just going to tell you this is how it goes. If you get nervous, you can hold my hand. And I'm like, okay, thanks, Shar.
Yeah.
So we get down. She's like, keeps checking on me.
Yeah.
So then the whole ride, I'm like screaming, having fun. It was in the dark. It was a fun roller coaster. I'm not holding her hand because I was like putting my hands up. I was enjoying it. We get to the end of the ride, and right before the lights come on, I look over, and girl has got her face like covered. But the first thing, like she didn't open her eyes, I think, the entire ride.
Yeah.
But the first thing she says to me is, wow, you were really scared, huh? You were screaming. And I said, no, that's what you do when you're having fun. And I said, did you even open your eyes?
Yeah.
And it was just really funny because she was very brave, but there was still a little bit of like, you know, hesitation in her.
A huge bummer though. Because it was like we had some gray clouds over us, so we didn't get like the huge parade that you normally get at 3:00.
We got the rain parade.
We did, and that's always a bummer at a Disney park. But we'll just make up for it when we go to Anaheim.
Yeah.
But it's still like, I mean, the song was really catchy.
The girls didn't know any different. They still love seeing the characters go by.
Yeah, I mean, the whole rainy day parade went all the way down Main Street, but then people were like, let's keep going. So like everyone just started walking down Main Street along with the cart. And I was like, oh, this is different. This is fun. And we like escorted them all the way back to the gates, and everybody waved. And I was like, I think everybody knew it was the rainy day parade. I didn't know then. But so they were just kind of like trying to squeeze in any sort of magic that was there. But yeah, that was cool. Let's talk about the Disney snacks that we ate there, because we tried almost all of them.
We tried almost all of them. Some things that the park is known for are like fried squid that we did not try. Mm-hmm. They also have like themed dumplings, which are dumplings in the shape of different characters like pigs.
They have dim sum.
Oh, dim sum. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, how dare you?
How dare I? But some things we got to try were like all the Mickey shaped things, Mickey donuts, Minnie Mouse ice cream. Mm-hmm. The girls did cotton candy.
We did a taro bubble tea. We did a pineapple bun, which is like a bolo bun, a huge bun with like chunks of butter in it.
Yeah.
That you're not supposed to spread. You're supposed to eat the chunks of butter with it.
Yeah, without spreading it around.
Yeah.
We did popcorn.
Good. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they had a lot more baked goods.
Did like a huge cotton candy thing in Tomorrowland that was like shape of a UFO. We did enjoy 2 meals at Disney. One was in the Grand Hall, like a banquet hall, where you walk in and there's like international food, Japanese food, like a grill. We chose that because it came with like chicken and veggies, and like we hadn't had that in a couple days after being in Hong Kong.
Veggies are hard to come by in Asia. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah. But you know, you could get like a sushi tray that's shaped like a Mickey Mouse, or there's like other Asian meals too. And then for dinner, we ate in the space station in Tomorrowland, and that was where you got like crazy, funky looking burgers and fries, and that was fun. And you got a salad that was in a cup.
Yeah. The vegetables come in cups with no dressing.
Not only are they hard to find, they come in cups.
And it was the most awkward thing to eat because it was a quote unquote salad.
Yeah.
But it literally was just one massive romaine leaf stuffed in a cup with tomatoes. So when I took it out to eat it, it was like I was just eating a big old leaf.
Yeah.
It was, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think many people buy the cups, but I enjoyed it.
Right. We were one of the only ones that did that. But so food was like, I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it was okay.
Snacks, definitely high up there. But I think overall experience, like if you've never been to Disney and you just so happen to be in Hong Kong and you're like, I wonder if we are a Disney family, then do it. Like, this is the most manageable Disney day I have ever had.
Yeah.
You could walk everywhere. There's no rush. I mean, obviously, if you go on a weekday, maybe that helped a lot. But also, what you would not expect is that you would be hearing a lot of Mandarin and a lot of Cantonese.
I read all of the cast members that work at that park have to speak 3 languages.
Wow.
Yeah. English, Mandarin, and Cantonese.
Really?
So even when we were doing the Moana show, they told the story in 3 languages at the same time.
So Moana spoke English, Maui spoke Cantonese, and Te Fiti spoke Mandarin. And they would just go back and forth, like telling every single line, but each line kind of filled in the gaps for the other language. and I understood everything, but like I was like, but then everyone else seemed to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I
Right?
have only speaking one language. I'm the lesser partner. I don't speak 3 or 4
You're
or
not
however
less.
many.
You're not less.
The story made sense just from the English parts, and also apparently on the Jungle Cruise ride,
Yes.
she narrated in 3 languages.
Right, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and-
that is something very unique to this park, that it's a requirement for cast members.
Yeah, and she like definitely worked the crowd. Like if she felt like there was a part of the boat that was like less engaged, then she would jump to that language.
To
I
speak
noticed
to
that
them.
about her. Yeah, so
Wow,
that
it's
was
so
cool.
interesting. Yeah.
I wonder if in Paris or in Tokyo what it's like. Do you know? Did you read about it?
I didn't read, but I mean, I'm assuming that they don't have to speak 3, because this little fun fact sheet made it seem like Hong Kong was the only one where that was a requirement.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be interested to know if it's a requirement in any other parks.
Yeah, and we posted on Instagram after that asking people like what should our next park be. Obviously we're going to Anaheim, but a lot of people said Tokyo.
Yeah.
And there's 2 parks in Japan. There's Disney Sea, which is like the only Disney park that is like not Disneyland, because there is Disneyland Tokyo, and then there's Disney's Sea Adventure or whatever. And so I'm excited to go do those too.
Yeah. Well, now I feel like this like silly goal is, well, let's just hit them all.
Let's do it.
Let's just hit them all. We've got life.
It's not that hard. I feel like the hardest one would be going to the one in Shanghai.
Yeah.
Because I don't know when we would plan a trip to China.
It's a little out of the way.
Well, not really, because Hong Kong is out of the way. But I feel like...
True.
Yeah, with a China trip. Well, I guess I don't know when we're going to come back to this side of the world again.
Yeah.
But I feel like Paris, we can like... There's got to be a Black Friday deal right now for tickets to Paris if we really wanted to.
Well, no. I'm not saying let's try to squeeze it into like the next year. I'm just saying an indefinite goal would be fun.
Yeah.
To visit all of them one
and
day.
get a tattoo one day that says been to all Disney's.
I'll pass on that.
Me too.
Okay.
It was just a fun idea for 2 seconds.
But it was, to wrap it up, it was a great way to end our time in the city. And if you find yourself coming to this part of the world and you have a layover in Hong Kong, even if you're not interested in exploring the city, which I feel like you'd be missing out, maybe plan like a 3-4 day layover like we did.
Yeah.
Experience the city, hit up Disney, and then carry on to your final destination. You know, there are a lot of flights that end up in Hong Kong and then continue on to other major international cities. So take advantage of your stopover and explore the city and check a Disney park off your list.
All right, Megan, 1 out of 10. Where does Hong Kong Disneyland rate?
Well, you know that it's actually my 3rd Disney park, because I went to Paris as a kid.
All right, we're ending this podcast now.
I went to Florida with you. But I don't really know. What are you saying? Rating it against what?
Like just a human experience.
Oh, a human experience, 10 out of 10. I mean,
Okay.
I had the best time with our girls. Like
Yeah.
you said, it felt like a yes day where everything they wanted to do that was fun, we could say yes to. Any snack they wanted, we said yes to.
And I cried at the fireworks at night.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what seals the deal. Like you are you are so tired. Like you are so tired when it gets to 8 o'clock at night.
True.
And then they just pull on your heartstrings and you're like, I love it.
I know they started playing that Tarzan song.
You'll Be in My Heart. Yeah.
It gets me every time.
No, at dinner time at 6 o'clock, you are the most tired and you're like, I cannot wait to leave, but we got to stay for the fireworks. And then at 8 o'clock, they're like, oh, we got you now. We got you.
We're going to seal the deal. We're going to help you make some memories, solidify the emotion.
Yeah, and there were tears. So I give them a 10 out of 10.
It was a great day.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tune in next week. We'll bring you along to our adventure in Bali. We have lots to share about our time there. But for now, have a great week. Don't forget to pack snacks. We'll see you next time.
Bye.